Well, here we are right back again. This is Jacksonville Buzz. I'm your host, Jamar Suber. And as you know, I talk to amazing entrepreneurs and business owners who make it happen. But today, I'm here with Mark McGuire of CARE's Justice Institute, Purpose on Top of Purpose. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So honored to be here.
Absolutely. So let's go right into it.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the mission.
Well, it's a social justice organism that deals with civil rights and racial equity, looking at processes and platforms that may be utilizing unfair practices as it relates to dealing with people of color. And we may see some streams of racism or microaggression and things that may not even be known by the organization, just historically and institutionally been utilized. And but it's giving inequity of opportunity to people of color. And so we want to make sure that we educate, we inform, inspire, and advocate, and then advance the individuals who may come across that behavior, yet put them in a position of leadership development so they can not only deal with it, not be traumatized, but overcome it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
You know, I have found that a lot of times the racism has been unintentional. And I say unintentional because it's been passed down from generation to generation to become normal.
Yes, yes.
But how do we combat some things when it is intentional, such as the annihilation of affirmative action and some of these things?
We have to address it. We can't let it continue to be the elephant in the room. We have to just speak truth to power. And we have to do it in love. We you know, sometimes love is a little demonstrative, but we have to be honest about it, and we have to have those critical conversations, and we have to pull some people in the room, and then we have to take people that don't look like us, who understand the plight, and they have to walk in with us and say, hey, yeah, we're partnering in this mission because we recognize that these actions and behaviors are unacceptable, and that's what we have to really put as a staple, that these are unacceptable actions in America, that black people and people of color have made too many contributions that we can allow intentional acts of racism to go unaddressed. Yeah,
absolutely. So, Mark, I have to call you Bishop. It's a respect thing.
Oh, bless you, sir.
So, Bishop, tell me about CARES, about your organization's role when it comes to, you mentioned empowerment and advancement.
Yes, sir. So what we do, we have a couple of things that we're a part of. We're a part of a couple of grants that allow us to get into the lives of children to deal with trauma. One of them is called PLAY, Preventing Long-Term Anger and Aggression Among Youth. So we recognize that sometimes the post-slavery syndrome is still alive in young people, and they don't even know it, passed down from generation to generation. And so they're dealing with this anger and trauma that has come from the systemic racism that ancestors have had to deal with. And so our job is to say, hey, listen, we recognize that it's out here. We may not be able to get rid of it right away. We know that we want it not only to dissipate, but to be eliminated. In the meantime, here's how we're going to operate. Here's how we're going to function in spite of. Here's how we're going to take all of that aggression, take some of that anger, channel it in another direction so that it can be positive, and then you can make some indelible marks in community as you live out your journey.
Man, amazing.
Yes, sir.
You know, ignorantly, I could say your drive for this is because you're a black man.
Yes.
But Bishop, what's the drive behind your work?
You know, I went to private school growing up, and I didn't recognize it because of normalcy, expectation. And then as I got older, had a very peculiar journey. When I came back home, I realized that what I was dealing with was racism. What I was dealing with was inequity of opportunity. It wasn't even about equality, it was equity. And I realized that I wasn't given some of those same opportunities and chances and given platforms like my peers who were of another hue. And so when I look back on that, I looked around my neighborhood, I looked around my community where there was poverty, lack of education, a lack of exposure. You know, you can't dream beyond your exposure. And so when I saw that, I thought they're in a deficit that they may never get out of. I've been given some advantages. I can take advantage of those advantages. They can't. They don't have that. And so now, being a pastor, being a person who's now compassionate about people's hope, and that's what we're built on, I realize that it's all about making a pathway for people to have a better chance in America to live out the dream. And so it just became easy, because when I looked at poverty, I looked at the criminal justice system, when I looked at the disparity in the healthcare, when I looked at education, when I looked at redlining, and I can go on and on and on. It kept being the same people that were being ostracized and marginalized. And so it became obvious to me that, hey, the BIPOC community needs a voice. They need someone who's kind of been there, done that, and they need someone who can partner with other people to help make a difference. And so it just was birthed. And I'm not ashamed to say it, my sentencing judge is now the president of the board of the CARES Justice Institute, and he is an older Jewish man, and he's passionate about equity of opportunity. And so we're honored to have a diverse board and people who champion rights.
That's amazing.
People who champion rights.
Amazing. Bishop, this is the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, sir.
We absolutely have to continue this conversation. Thank you for coming out to being on the show. You heard it right here. Listen, systemic racism has plagued us, and has plagued us for quite some time, but there's hope. If you want to find out more about Mark and the CARES Justice Institute, please log on to dailynewsnetwork.com. You've just watched Jacksonville Buzz, and I'm your host, Jamar Suber.